Welcome to Recapping Movie Explained. In their opulent, tastefully furnished home, Tinja, 12, lives with her adoring family, which also includes her father, mother, and younger brother, Mashes. Her mother is an online influencer who records everything they do on a daily basis for a video blog about their personal lives. One morning, as the mother gathers everyone around the sofa to film a segment of a video showcasing the family's love and affection, a loud crash on the window interrupts their conversation. An wounded crow flies inside the home, crashes into everything, and wrecks the drawing room as Tinja opens the window to see what's happening. Numerous pieces of glass have already been broken. By encircling it with a towel, Tinja is able to keep it and wants to let it fly away outside. The small girl is astonished to watch her mother kill the bird by twisting its neck until her mother interrupts her and asks her to bring the towel to her. The girl then obeys her mother's instructions and places the dead crow in their organic trash can outside. She hears loud cawing outside her house that night, and when she goes to investigate, she discovers the crow has vanished from the garbage can. Tinja investigates the noise in a nearby woodland and soon discovers a dead crow, possibly the same bird from earlier, lying on the ground. She decides to stone the bird to death in order to relieve its suffering because she is at a loss for ideas. After that, she chooses to help a single egg that is lying next to the dead crow by taking it home with her. Young Tinja is a gymnast who practices arduously at her school in preparation for an upcoming tournament. Due to her introverted temperament and possibly her hectic schedule with school and practice sessions, she does not have many friends at school. Rieta, a young woman of similar age who has just moved into their neighborhood, immediately strikes up a friendship with the youngster. The girl is also drawn to Rieta's beloved dog. Rieta is soon discovered to be a gymnast as well, and she is far more skilled than Tinja, much to the mother's chagrin. Tinja's mother, who was once a figure skater herself, heavily pressures Tinja to participate in gymnastics and uses her daughter's participation in the sport as material for her YouTube videos. The youngster is confused when she discovers her mother at their home with another man one afternoon after coming home from school. Tinja is even more perplexed by her mother's introduction of him as Taro and her later confession and explanation that he is her lover. This is in addition to her father's aloofness. She has been incubating the egg she had brought inside her teddy bear in her room, where it has been growing in the meantime. But the egg keeps getting abnormally big, and one day it cracks. Tinja is equally horrified and surprised to see the hideous creature that emerges from the egg. It resembles a juvenile bird, but is much larger than it, has large, scary eyes, muscular legs, clawed hands, and some stray hair on top. When Tinja's father comes into her room to check the disturbance, the creature screeches like any other baby bird and escapes out of the window. The following night, though, it returns, and this time Tinja assists it by removing a piece of glass lodged in its hand. As soon as she understands that the creature regards her as its mother, she begins to take care of it by bathing it and singing lullabies to it. However, the bird is obviously abnormal and soon delivers Tinja, her neighbor's pet dog, who has had its head severed. The girl pukes on the ground after seeing the dead, and the bird eats it up right away. The following day, Tinja purchases bird seeds, chews them up herself, and then spits them out of her mouth to feed her buddy since she realizes she will have to feed it exactly like mother's birds feed their young. She keeps caring for it, clothing it in her clothes, and giving it the name Ali after an orphan figure in the lullaby she sings. One night, Ali shocks Mashes and the mother, the former believing Tinja was crawling about while it tired her out. The following morning, much to the surprise and probably disappointment of the young girl, Tinja's mother advises taking her to Taro's place for the weekend. Tinja's father concurs, stating that Taro is a wonderful guy. The two take a drive over to Taro's house, where they discover that Taro is a widower who now lives alone with his young daughter Helmi after his wife died giving birth. The creature now has flesh developing over its open mouth and is showing human teeth as Ali follows Tinja to her new room that evening. Taro refuses to let Tinja and her mother inside his home when they return because he claims to have witnessed Tinja trying to murder his daughter. Taro dismisses her mother as well and won't let her remain any longer when she attempts to persuade him that she was with her the entire time. When Tinja tries to apologize to her mother in the car, the latter screams loudly and hits her head on the steering wheel repeatedly in a violent fit of rage and fury. She ignores the blood that quickly begins to drip down her broken nose as she conveys her disappointment in Tinja to the young child in a nasty manner. The mother greets her father and brother with the same affection she displays in her movies as they enter their home, acting as if nothing unusual had happened about it. Ali is eventually cornered inside Tinja's room, and the mother decides to repeat her prior crimes by stabbing Ali to death. Tinja tries to stop her mother, but she stabs her in the chest as Tinja gets in the line of her swinging knife. Tinja, the small girl, collapses to the ground while coughing blood as her mother and daughter both sob in terror and shock. Ali's open mouth is where the blood pours. Her cheeks have already been pulled apart, leaving a large void in place of a human mouth. The creature's gap on its face fills with flesh as the three family members stare in disbelief. Its eyes transform to look like Tinja's, and it now utters the word mother. When the mother looks up, Tinja is staring at her with small wounds around her mouth and lips, indicating that Ali has fully transformed into Tinja. The foundation of hatching appears to be the pretenses that individuals hold themselves to be in this day and age of social media. The mother, as depicted in the movie, acts as though her life, marriage, and surroundings are all perfect, but within her own head, she is incredibly weak and horrible. When things don't go as she had intended, she yells at her own kid and doesn't hesitate to harm those who have unintentionally caused her life damage. However, Tinja's dark, repressed urges are unable to be contained within her and instead find expression in the form of a being that she has given the name Ali. Tinja's inner conscience has motives to desire to damage each and every person that Ali harmed or attempted to harm. She is envious of and disturbed by Masha's, who frequently has outbursts and bothers her and her parents. She is envious of Rieta because of her exceptional gymnastics abilities and of infant Helmi because of her mother's, in her opinion, illegitimate attention to her. Taro backs Tinja, but Ali attacks him because she thinks he's the one who might end up causing her parents to split up. Ali may have even killed Rieta's pet dog because it had bit Tinja at the beginning of the movie. Unlike the adult's rage, Tinja is unable to hide all of these emotions beneath a happy mask. Instead, they all appear physically. Finally, it might imply that Tinja has learned to fake and pretend feelings to exhibit to the world, just like the grown-ups in her family, until Ali's transformation into Tinja is complete at the conclusion. In this way, hatching becomes a story about a preteen girl who is in risk of learning to psychologically mask and repress her emotions just as she is about to start physically changing into a woman.